Você está muda. Não saiu do mudo?
Oh, yeah.
Ok.
I see. Yes. Thank you, Leticia. And thank everybody for being here. It's a pleasure for me to be here with all of you. Some of you I know, and some of you I don't. So I would love to meet you in one way or another. Okay, I am going to give a brief introduction of what I will be giving in the conference, the Sunday 21st. So this has to do with leading from the heart. And first of all, I will want, if you want to just close your eyes and take a few deep breaths, so we can just let go the day and can connect all of us here together, so we can be with whatever unfolds for you and for me too. So just closing your eyes and connecting with your heart, with our beautiful heart. Taking some full deep breaths. In the in-breath, let in the love, the wisdom, and in the out-breath, let go whatever doesn't serve you anymore. Breathe in again, allowing love to come in your heart, your body. And in the out-breath, let go. And now in the next in-breath, connecting deeper with yourself. And in the out-breath, just open your eyes, being present with what is in you and being present with all of us here. So our goal in life is one thing, to connect with our real self. And this real self or true self is an aspect of nature. And it is bound to the laws of nature. So we can trust ourselves because we can trust nature too. The true self and nature are one. So whenever we are functioning in this true self, we are joyful, we are in truth, we are connected with everything and with everyone. All the contributions that we have to life arise from this inner self. So we expand and unfold more fully from this place. So we don't have to become this true self because we are that. We need to remember to connect again. We disconnected from this inner self because we are afraid of it. We are afraid of being all that we can be. And this fear has to do with this fear of the self. So if we have no fear of this innermost self, we won't fear anything in life. We won't fear even death. So in this path of self-confrontation, we will know, or we will get to know what we really fear. that is inside of us. And so often we project this fear on the outside, on others, or we project it onto life, and we avoid living. We avoid also knowing the self because we fear it. So since life and death are two sides of the same coin, we will be afraid of being alive, and we will be afraid of letting go many of the things that we need to let go, many of the things that need to die, attitudes, some of the things that doesn't serve us anymore. So we are in this world right now, and there is a new consciousness coming in, like entering this planet Earth, and this new consciousness will penetrate our system, so our inner self or the divine in us will express through us, and we will create something new. And because we are in a consciousness based on the ego, we are aligned to this consciousness that it's fear-based. So we in that alignment need to be in control. We don't allow our feelings to come up. We are very afraid of the pain that it's inside. We don't connect with what needs to connect in order for us to be truly fulfilled, because we are afraid of what is inside, all these layers of defenses that needs to come to arise first in order for us to be fully present in who we are. When we resist, we won't face all the things that are inside of us. We won't let go our defenses. So we won't let our natural feelings to be experienced. So all these defenses become like a second nature for us. We don't realize how unnatural our life is when we resist to let our feelings express through us. We cannot relax and let ourselves be guided by these forces that are involuntary. And this is a sign of how much we distrust ourselves. And when we hold back, we don't allow our soul movement to guide us. We are afraid of this. We are afraid of these movements that wants to go forward. This real self, or this true self, or who we really are, only can manifest as a spontaneous expression. So if we are afraid to let go our ego-based consciousness, we will be locked in a prison that we make for ourselves. So we have to let all the things that are inside of us to arise, and to trust that this is for the good of what we will remember who we are. Whenever we let these feelings arise or come, these spontaneous feelings to arise, we also are afraid of that we won't conform our social environment. We also fear pleasure, and we as humans are capable of experiencing intense joy. And for letting this true self express as a spontaneous movement, we need to let go the ego. And for this, we need also to have a healthy ego, because if our ego is too weak or too strong, we really cannot hold, cannot let this true self to express as it is in a spontaneous way. We, as human beings, we because we are alive, we have the ability to surrender fully to the life force and to all the pleasure currents. And if we are truly healthy and functioning, we will express spontaneously this powerful force. We won't fear it, and we won't reject it also. So for the ones that still remain guarded and defended, who are constantly keeping fear of letting go, these forces cannot express through them because we become numb, we deaden our feelings, and we become dead. And this lack of aliveness is a state of disconnectedness. And we call this state self-alienation. And this ego won't let go. Because if we become alive, this ego needs to surrender to a will that is bigger than the will of the ego. The full expression of the life force is first prohibited by our parents and others that are around us. So we believe that expressing ourselves is dangerous. So we repress who we are. So when we become adults, we don't have to be constrained by our past. And the more we take responsibility for our destructive feelings, because this will be the first things that appear whenever we let go this constraint, there we will start to identify these feelings and to let them out without acting them out. So whenever we enter this process of self-transformation, we start to identify these feelings and all these defenses that arise. So we become who we really are. And we start to experience a great pleasure and a great joy, for sure. Also, one of the things that it's important in this becoming who we really are is it's a current. It's the current of giving and receiving. We all need affection. We all need acceptance. We all need warmth, and the acceptance, especially of our uniqueness, so we can live fully. But when our need to receive the things goes unfulfilled, our psyche breaks in a way. Not only our bodies needs pleasure, but also our soul, and our soul grows whenever our inner self can express. So when we were young, we were dependent on having our needs met by others. We needed to receive, and also we needed to give. So many of us recognize the frustration of not receiving what we needed when we were children, but not all of us recognize the frustration of not sufficiently giving. So when we grow up, we withhold what we have to give. We are very afraid to express all these spontaneous feelings that comes from our inner self, and in that we stop feeling pleasure, we stop feeling joy. So to heal the damage of not receiving enough, we must also recognize that it's worth the frustration that was created when we couldn't give what we have. And we still don't do that. Many of us don't give whenever these feelings come from the heart and from the inner. We stop the movement. And this continuous giving and receiving is a soul movement that must flow. So we can be healthy and we can feel fulfilled. And we can let us go or enter in this ongoing process, in this flowing process. So when we let ourselves in this current, when we enter this current of giving and receiving, we not only give material things or material in a material level, but we also give in more subtle levels. And we start to feel the joy of giving. And we impoverish ourselves when we withhold what we have to give. And this pain is really huge in us. So we withhold we hold back who we are and the expression of our feeling. We don't allow ourselves to experience them. And we start to feel tension. We start to contract. And we still have this urge to give abundantly to life and to others whenever we feel love, whenever we encounter with the other, and we will find many reasons or justifications in order for us not to give. And when we do this, we start to impoverish ourselves. The greater our inclination to give, the less will be our tendencies for self-deprivation, for withholding, and for suffering. So the more, and this new way that it's emerging right now in the world and in us, especially we all have this pull towards this giving and receiving love. And giving and receiving who we are, and giving and receiving all the feelings that we have. And this new way, it's risky and it's scary, and it doesn't look good for this old way of separation that seems to be safe. This way of separation is the way of the ego. The ego is caught in duality. The ego cannot hold both aspects of duality. It can move towards one or towards the other, but it cannot hold what this aspect in us that it's who we really are. This consciousness that identifies everything, and this love that embraces everything that we are in this moment. So giving ourselves to this new force, it's like stepping into the unknown. And this is the choice that we will have to make in order for us to remember who we are. And if we trust everything that we are, we really can let go all these destructive attitudes of withholding, of rejecting, of not allowing love to penetrate us. Imagine that love is the power of the universe. It's the highest power of the universe, and it's everywhere. It's everywhere. There is no place it is not. And it is us that doesn't allow this power, this love, to penetrate us. is us that we stop the movement because we are afraid of what is inside of us. And we came here to purify and to transform what is inside of us. So whatever is in distortion or is twisted inside of us is the first thing that will come up. The defenses, the destructiveness, the reactions. So we can really hold them in this loving presence of our consciousness. And we will start to live from the inside out. We will radiate our self, who we really are. And also because we are bound, because we are nature, we are bound to the laws of nature, and we and our nature are one, and we are, everybody are one. So this new way will have some first steps that maybe won't be so easy. But if we are held and if we trust, we will go in our rhythm. We don't have to go in a rhythm that it's not our. We can go step by step, feeling safe in every step. So we won't let the old way. We will dissolve the old way, but we will embrace the old way, not living from that place, but really living from who we really are. And whatever, one of the things that we do whenever we live from this place is just expressing not only the feelings, but showing every hidden area or every hidden secret that we have about us. Whenever when we let go these secrets and we express them, we don't really feel we don't really identify with them anymore. So we start to feel the love, the happiness, and we start to live in the riches of and in the abundance of nature. Because we are nature, we can give and receive as nature does. So imagine, it is amazing what we can give and receive in every moment. So imagine yourself giving and receiving in this exchange with you and everybody and everything that surrounds you. How would you feel? This is the promise. Whenever we remind, whenever we reconnect to who we really are. So we will embrace this old way of the ego, of the mind, but we won't stop the flow. This new way will increase more. This beautiful flowing movement that we can totally trust. So we whenever we are willing to let go our self-centered, self-destructive attitudes, there we will stop fearing ourselves. This fear will diminish and something new will start to take over from within. We will be in connection with the creative powers, and we will be connected to life and to pleasure supreme also. This new way is not a way of the mind, it's a way of the heart. Whatever it's in our heart, we express it without agenda, without hidden agenda. We will stop putting brakes on our own life force. So imagine moving from your life force, moving from this pleasure supreme, connecting with people from this living, pulsating heart. So we won't feel frustration anymore, because everything that we give is not is without conditions. We just give. We are immersed in the pleasure of following our natural movement, of letting our giving and our receiving move through us, because it's our soul movement. Experiencing the joy of giving and receiving, it's something that many of you have already experienced. And when our vessel and when our body is defended or is closed, we feel dead, and we expect the other to enliven us, to give us the pleasure that we believe we don't have inside. We feel impoverished, and we create from that impoverishment. When we hold ourselves guarded and tight, we don't protect ourselves really. We seal ourselves from the forces, from the healthy forces of the universe, and we stop the love we doesn't allow the love to penetrate us fully. And in this, we really feel this unfulfillment and unhappiness, and we feel empty, and we feel numb. We don't connect with our desire, with our longing. So if we connect with our longing, what is your longing right now? What is the deepest longing that you have in your life? So little by little, we can relinquish everything that it's on the way, and we can let love, that it's the greatest power, to come in. So I don't know if there is any question about this. If you have any questions, so we can interact.
We don't have any questions as of now. Let me see if anyone wants to ask anything.
Okay. Something maybe that you want to know more?
Fabiana, there's one question about what interested you about Pathwork. That why did you came to Pathwork and not another self-knowledge method?
Why can you say it again, Luigi?
Yeah. Why Pathwork interested you? Why did you choose Pathwork instead of maybe another self-knowledge method?
Okay, I've done many other paths, and this path has something that for me it's like a surgery. It has like a very focused way to access everything in a very detailed way. It encourages us to not to connect only with the higher aspects that are in us, but also to go to the deepest and lower aspects, the darkness in us, in order for us to come really, really down, for us to come up again. So sometimes that is scary, because we only want to connect with these higher aspects that are in us, and we come to this planet we embody in this world, that it's a world of duality, in order for us to embrace whatever is inside of us too, and to allow it to be, not to allow it to act it out, but to really have consciousness, the consciousness and the embrace, bringing this loving consciousness to whatever it's inside of us. For me, it's the safest path that I followed, because it engages the spiritual aspect in me and the human aspect. It doesn't leave out the human aspect that I really love. I love this world. I love living in this world, and for this, I love my humanness too. Yes.
Okay, so we have a couple more questions. So the first one is, why it's so easy to believe in this illusion you mentioned and so hard to believe in this voice of love?
Because there's when we believe in illusion, is because we don't want to be responsible of what is inside of us. So there is a promise. Whenever we numb ourselves, there is a promise. We can have pleasure. We can have a very comfortable life. We can live a good life for sure. The promise here, it's pleasure supreme. It's being who we really are. It's expressing everything that it's inside of us and trusting this expression. When we do a path, any path of purification, we really can have a very comfortable life. We can have what we want many times, and we can live a joyful life, but feeling fulfilled and feeling the divine inside of us, expressing through us, with others, with us. That is something that I experience with this path. And it's not an illusion, it's an experience. And this is the new way that it's coming, that it's not a mental way of dealing with life, but it's an experience of the divine, of our spirit, moving through us and expressing through us.
Okay, so we have two questions that are similar. The first one is asking you to deepen on this theme of ego. And the second one is how to let go of this identification with the ego. Okay.
We will deepen into the ego in the conference, but the ego or the healthy ego, not the weak ego or the strong ego, the healthy ego is the one that can identify everything that is inside of us without identifying with it. Whenever we are in this, whenever we have this healthy ego or our conscious self, we can surrender to a bigger aspect in us. And this is something we can do if our ego is healthy, because if it is weak, we won't be able to do this. Or if it is too strong, we won't be able to do this either. There was another part, or is the only?
Yeah, the other part was how to let go of this identification with the ego.
It's step by step. First, we need to purify ourselves a little bit. And then slowly, when we start walking, it is not important where we get. the importance is the walking, the importance is the path, and conquering the fears that we have around ourselves. So step by step, we conquer one fear after another, and each conquer aligns us to our true self. Because whenever we conquer fear, we get the courage and the strength to hold who we really are. Sometimes it's very difficult to give what we have to give, because when we gave it in the past, when we were very little, we weren't received, and also showing our hidden secrets, it's difficult. So we need courage and strength, and we get this courage and strength through the fears that we conquer, that we confront with our consciousness, but with our loving consciousness.
Okay, I have one more.
Yes.
She's asking, how can we help other people face the lower self and listen to their interior voice? Because it's hard enough for those of us who are in Pathwork. So how can we help other people?
Yes, first of all, when we deal with the lower self or darkness, we need to connect first with our higher self. We need prayer, we need intention, we need to be very conscious about that we are looking is not us, but it's what we brought in this lifetime to transform. So if we don't do this, it is dangerous, because we can identify with what we see. And this is one of the fears of the self, that we identify with this lower self. We believe that we are that. And in reality, we are not that. We are the ones that brought it in order for us to purify, and then that can be transformed in something much more bigger than that. So the first step is first knowing yourself, your own lower self, not identifying with it, but identifying it, and then connecting to your true self, to your higher self, with prayer, with intention every day. Because for me, this connection is an everyday connection. Love is something that I, every fear, every day I conquer a fear, I feel joy. And we have all these reactions during the day because we are human. Our humanity won't go away. It's is how we relate to our humanity, the problem, not our humanity. And when we are relaxed, being human and having a human experience and having faults, mistakes, flaws, destructive attitudes, we don't need to act them out. If we are conscious of them, we can say, oh, here, oh, look at this, I can do this. I can kill someone because they are not the way I want them to be. Or, wow, oh, this is inside of me. Oh, what, how interesting is this? You know, we can look at that with awe. We don't need to judge ourselves or to try that is not in us. And we are human. And this lifetime, it's about bringing the spirit to, letting the spirit to experience through matter, through our personality, through all that we are. So our humanity, our body, our personality is very important for this work here on Earth. It's vital for me And also the pleasure that we experience in the body is not the same pleasure that we can experience in an out of the body experience. That the pleasure that we experience through connection, through our heart, through our giving and receiving, the same love that we give. It's beautiful. It's a body experience too. It's a full body experience. Yes.
Yeah, I think this is the last question for today.
Okay. Okay. So I pass it on to you, Luigi.
Thank you.
Thank you.